Today I am going to be creating a Gothic themed Dutch door spread in my journal, so stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Tracy and I want to welcome you back to my channel. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. And yes, I am going to be decorating, pretty much only decorating in my journal. This is my affirmations / creative journal. So basically I get really creative in here as far as the decorating goes, but I also use this functionally as well for a little bit of affirmations journaling. If you're questioning what my affirmations journal is, basically I just randomly pick an affirmation each day and then journal about it. Journal how it applies to me, or journal how it could apply to me if I do X, Y, or Z. So it's basically a good way for me to work on building my confidence as well as potentially bettering myself. So that is what I use it for. I do not do it every day. I would like to. I do it multiple times a week. When I say multiple, that just means more than once because I am not as consistent with this as I would like, but I am enjoying doing this. So we're going to decorate some more spreads. All right, so what am I going to use? What you see here may not be the only products that I use, but it's what I'm going to be starting out with. So the inspiration is this Dark Hearts Pet and Washi tape box set that I got off of Amazon, but it is from RongRong. You can also get it directly from the RongRong site. And I'm going to be using this PET tape. I think I'm going to be using the girls instead of the couples because that's a little too Twilight-ish for me. I will be using them eventually, but just not in this spread. So I'm going to be making some Dutch doors, I think, with some of the girls, not all of them. And then I'll use some of the others for just like regular decor. I think I might use the girls with the dresses. Like, she's going to be perfect for a Dutch door. Actually, all of them are going to be perfect except for her. So I might have to use one of the girls at the bottom that's kind of like cut off. So I might have to do that, which is perfectly fine. We're okay with that. So I'm going to do the girls. Then we're going to figure out what washi goes behind the girls. That's going to be the tough one just because I don't want it to be too busy. Of course, I'm not, the white is going to thicken this up, but what looks best next to the girls. Then I printed out some clip art from Creative Fabrica. I do have a year membership through Creative Fabrica where I can do unlimited downloads of clip art. And I chose these dark, I think these are dark roses, but they're like watercolor. And then I got this from like a Gothic clip art bundle. And then I put them in my Cricut and duplicated the images and flipped the duplicates. So that way these all should mirror each other. You can see here. So I can put one on the front and one on the back and it should mirror each other perfectly because this is going to be the images that I'm going to be pulling from for the second Dutch door, or my third maybe is what I should say, because it's going to be the girls, then the washi, then the roses, and then the washi is what I'm thinking. This is going to be really hard for the washi behind it because this is the washi that I'm planning on using. And I'm thinking this is going to have to be the back spread because I think this is going to look the best with these versus these and these. Because I feel like this red, the red is different than this color. But this is like too much red to go with that. And this is just too much florals. This might not get used. I need to figure out a washi to go behind the girls. I could use this twice. That is not out of the realm of possibilities. That could actually look pretty good. We'll have to figure this out. I think I'm going to start from the back though, because I don't know how much to cut. So like I said, it's going to be girls, washi, roses, plus maybe some of the other things, and washi. So I'm going to be doing 4 pages total. Now, with this washi being as large as it is, that doesn't mean that's where I'm going to start my Dutch door. I'm not going to cut here on the page in front of it. This is just a big thing of washi. It's fine. Ooh, am I lined up? I mean, it's pretty straight, but I went it all the way on the edge, as close to the edge as possible. Let's put it that way. All right, so this entire spread took me a little over an hour, and I definitely did not want to put you guys through that,
Plus, through the majority of this, I was quiet. There was a lot of thinking going on. And a lot of times when I'm trying to think, I tend to not be very chatty. Not that you all love my chattiness, but I cannot stand a silent video unless there's music going. So I figured we would do this as a voiceover, and then I can provide my commentary and chat all about the mistakes I made along the way. So on this page, I am putting all of those roses and gothic little elements that I got from Creative Fabrica. Now, I didn't take this too far inward, but it is far enough inward where you get a good view of the washi that is behind it. Now, for some reason, I do not know why, I decided to use these really large scissors, which of course were giving me trouble because they're a little too large to make intricate cuts. So I switched to my X-Acto knife, and then I switched to this little other pen knife that didn't really work really well, and I went back to the scissors. You'll see at some point that I do find my really small scissors, which are perfect for this, and they were right in front of my face the whole time, but for some reason it never dawned on me that the scissors may be too big. But whatever. It just took me probably just a little bit longer than it would have otherwise. So I initially started cutting around this pretty close to the edge, and then I was like, wait a minute. I'm going to have to recut it when I put the other stickers on the back because the border's going to hang over. So I kind of stopped doing that, and I made a little bit larger of a cut. And I figured I would put all the stickers on the back side of this and then go back in with my scissors and make a tighter cut around the actual images. I do want a little bit of the white showing. Obviously, I can't get super close because some of these are very intricate. Even if I probably use the gyro cut, it would probably be a little problematic. But I definitely wanted to make it a little close and not have a huge amount of white space going around it. And fortunately for me, these images, they really weren't too difficult to cut around. You will see shortly, right there, I did find my tiny scissors. I say find, like I said, they were right in front of me the whole time. But yeah, this is the most tedious part of the Dutch door. But basically the way that these are lined up, it was not that difficult. As you can see, even though I switched between 5 different cutting tools, it really wasn't that difficult, I promise you. All right, so I'm just kind of doing the final trim. I was trying to make some of this not so straight and made some of the ones around the florals a little bit more curved. So that's why I kept going back and forth, back and forth. All right, so now I'm trying to figure out the washi. And I was like, okay, is it going to be too much to put the same burgundy and black washi here, especially with the girls on top? That's what I was kind of worried about. But I decided I was going to go ahead and roll with it. And I'm like, let's cut it with my paper cutter to make it a little bit easier. And yeah, you could see that at first I tried with the large side, and I'm like, Tracy, just flip it around. That's all you have to do is flip the paper cutter around. So yeah, I did that. And then I realized I didn't cut enough off. So I had to go through again, and you'll see me eventually just cut it off with the X-Acto knife. And this is when I started kind of second guessing my decision to use this burgundy washi. I did like how the black looked behind it. So then I remembered that I had this really cool washi tape that I got from Cora Creative Crafts, which I do have a discount code, by the way. It is not an affiliate link or affiliate code, but I do have that down in the description. But I really like the way this looked. And it actually made this look almost like an extra Dutch door. It almost looked like a page behind a page. So it made it look like the burgundy and black washi was one page, and then this other layer of the black script washi was another page. So it gives it a really cool, dimensional effect. So I'm really glad I decided to go with it. I did end up trimming off some of the thick burgundy washi just because I didn't want it hanging underneath of the black script washi, and I did need the black script to be at the top so that way you could see it through the Dutch doors, or behind the Dutch doors, as I guess what I should say. So now I'm trying to figure out the best placement for these girls. And this was a little bit of a challenge because you can't really see what's behind it. So I tried to fold the page. I was surprised about how large the girls were. Like I said, I'm mainly used to using B5s and 8x8 journals. So I'm used to be able to put more stickers on the page than in my A5 journals. So I had assumed I would be able to get 3 girls on the page. Yeah, that was not going to happen. I think even if I use the ones that were only half the size, I think I still might have had issues. I'm not sure. But I decided to go with these two because I felt like I could use the same images on the back and not have as much trouble cutting the Dutch door out. Both sides sort of were semi-symmetrical to make it work, especially the one at the bottom. The one at the top, not so much. I will say the one at the bottom, I did bring her down a little bit because the bottom of the dress was not super symmetrical. So I figured just cutting it straight would make my life so much easier. And it did. I was trying to figure out the elements to put between the girls, and then I figured what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around the girls first and then figure out the elements at the end, and I'll trim around that. So you can see me here trying to match up the girl in the red. I am going to have to cut off a piece of her dress because the one side of her dress is like flared out versus the other side, but it's fine. The only issue is that when I cut around her, she's not going to have any white border around. Now looking back, a way I could have remedied that is cutting the sticker itself when it was not on the page, or maybe even using an X-Acto knife with a really light touch and just cutting the sticker and not the page. And that would have still given me a little bit of a border, and it would have just made the sticker look a little bit better because I could have just kind of cut around it. So yeah. So I ended up moving the girls, as you saw, just because I wanted to be able to see a little bit more of the washi behind it. The girl on the top, you couldn't see the washi behind her, so that is why I just shifted everything down. And these RongRong stickers, they really do peel up pretty nicely. So I was fortunate in that aspect. The stickers that I made myself, that I printed, that sticker paper does not come off the paper unless you use undo. But these RongRong ones come up pretty easy. So I was fortunate and I was able to shift everything to the side without any issues. So I did find some really cool elements that fit in between it. It was like a book, a fan, and then you'll see a little bit later, there's like a little, it looks like a potion vial in the shape of a heart that ended up filling that little space in as well. I just wanted something there. I didn't just want a white void area. The other option is I could have put a strip of washi in between the two girls and then just cut a straight line. But I really like how this ended up looking. I will say, I don't do Dutch doors all the time. I probably only do like a Dutch door spread like maybe once every other week. But I do enjoy them. I just don't have the room to do them in a lot of my journals. There's only a few journals that I use that I can actually do this in. And I do have a creative journal that has no purpose, but for creative, so maybe I should start doing them more. And who knows, maybe it will take me a lot less than an hour to complete them. Or maybe I should just go a little simpler. I feel like sometimes I try to take on these really complicated ones, although this one wasn't super complicated. I don't know. It kind of felt that way at times. So you will see in a minute, what I need to do now is fill in some of the white spaces between the florals, and I just use some bats to put in there. It just kind of helps hide some of the void areas, so you just see more stickers, which, you know, always looks a little bit better. And now that the right side of the pages are done, now I need to just go ahead and add washi to the other side, so that way when you flip the Dutch doors, you can actually see washi behind those edges as well. This was complicated. I just did not know how I wanted to do this. I didn't know if I wanted to repeat what I did on the other side or do something a little bit different. However, even if I repeated it, what was on the other side with the really thick washi and then the black over top, there was a lot more room here. So I would have still had to use other types of washi to make it thicker. So I started playing around with the RongRong washi that I had yet to use. And I just didn't love the way these looked together. I didn't really love these, especially like the floral washi. It really does not match the other florals that I have. So I was like, don't love that. And then there's like little blood droplets washi. And then I really didn't love that as either. So you will kind of see in a minute that I do change that. And I did decide to actually cut the washi on this cutting mat, which is a lot better because it actually saves the extra piece of washi for later use. But you can see I will continue to change my mind as far as how this washi looks. What I ended up doing is I really did like that striped washi. And I liked that stripe washi between every time I changed the washi, if that makes sense. In between the different pattern washies, I really did like that striped look. I thought it looked really, really cool. It was very simplistic, but it just looked nice. And who would have thought? It was me trying to match those other washis is the reason why I used the stripe. And I think it ended up looking great in the end. And I used the white script washi to help balance it out, which I also think gave it a little bit nice touch. I will say I do not use the white washi anywhere else on any of the other edges. So this is the only appearance it makes, except for a little bit of pieces spread on some of the other pages, but it doesn't matter. I think it looks fine. And now I'm just going to put the little striped washi here. It's great because I was only able to put that, I only had to put that little strip of washi down, and it still kind of continued the pattern without taking up much space. So I decided, yeah, I needed to go ahead and add it to the back page as well, just for consistency. Plus, I really liked the way that looked. I think it helped. For some reason, it helped with the starkness of just the flat edge of the washi. I don't know why. It just gave it a better look, a softer look, even though it's stripes, if that makes sense. Maybe softer isn't the right word, but something around there. All right, that's pretty much it as far as my decision making goes. What I'm going to be doing now is adding boxes and then other just random stickers to the page to make it look cute. So I'm going to throw on some music for the rest of this, like a decorate with me, and then I will pop back in at the very end to wrap everything up.
Guys, there we go. So final flip through. So yeah, I did do my Dutch doors, mixed it in with a few waterfall edges. I mean, it's technically a Dutch door too, but it was not that hard to create. Obviously, I made my life a little bit easier because I used printables here and I just flipped them in my Cricut design space. So I had mirror images to play with. So that worked out fine. However, these RongRong dolls, they also were very close to being symmetrical. Like she was pretty close to being symmetrical. This one was close enough. You can see I had to cut the dress a little bit because of this wing out here, but it's fine. It doesn't look like horrible or anything. Yes, I guess it does look a little bad because it's missing some of the border, but I think it's okay. We're not talking about perfection here. So yeah, I love how this turned out. I love this washi combination. It was almost a struggle to get to this point because I was set on trying to use all of the washis that came in this box set. However, it just wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work because I didn't want to use this floral washi to compete with this because you can still see it there, and then this just didn't work at all. So I just decided to go a different route. I'm really glad I brought in the striped washi. I think it looks great in between each of them, and it really helped out when I got to this page because I was just able to put that there and be done with it. And then I'm glad I decided to use just the white script washi because it does work well with this. And of course, can we talk about the layering? Really love that. Now I could have done a Dutch door with that just by cutting it like that, but I kind of like the layering. It's like faux Dutch doors. So like I said, this looks like right here, it's 2 pages anyway, but it's fine. I had a lot of fun. That's the whole point of doing creative journaling, is just to have fun, express yourself. You know, it's very relaxing for me. Trying to put pieces together of a puzzle. It's like, you know, you sit down and you do an actual puzzle. This is kind of my form of doing a puzzle. So yeah, that's the reason why I do these. But like I said, it does have a purpose. It is my affirmations journal. Plus sometimes I put like empowering quotes as well in addition to affirmations and kind of journal about those. But there we go. It looks like this one, maybe I took it off and something might have got stuck to the back because it's having a hard time sticking down right there. But there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you gave you some ideas. You know, you don't have to have these stickers to kind of do something similar. You can kind of, you know, just take the inspiration and run with it and do your own thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please press that like button. If you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel. That's all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.